There is a tax you pay every single day. You paid it this morning. You'll pay it again tonight. It's inside your bread, your gas, your rent, quietly. Nobody calls it a tax. It has no line on your receipt. It quietly slips about 133 a year to the households that already have the most, paid, cent by everyone who has less. Same loaf of bread, same price on the shelf. And here's the part that should bother you. If you're rich, you get most of it back. If you're poor, you never see a single cent of it, ever. One family walks out having paid a fee. The other walks out having been paid for doing nothing but owning the right rectangle of plastic. Keep that image. 2 people, 1 loaf, opposite outcomes. By the end, the Federal Reserve is going to put a number on it. Let's start where you'd never think to look. The little beige card reader on the counter. You tap. It beeps. It says approved, and you assume that was free. It was not free. In that quarter of a second, money moved that you never saw. Not your money. The store's money. A slice of your purchase got peeled off. It got mailed to a bank you don't have an account with. That slice has a name. It's called interchange, and it's the most invisible toll on earth. It travels a hidden road every time you buy anything. A road you never chose, built by companies you never signed up with. Here's the mechanic, plain. Every time a card touches a terminal, the store pays a fee to swipe it. In the United States, that fee averages around 1% plus on of the sale. On a premium rewards card, it climbs higher. Often, 2% to 2.5% and up. The store doesn't set it. You don't set it. It's set upstream by the card networks in a rate table. And here's who splits it. Most of that fee goes to the bank that issued your card. A thin sliver goes to the network that runs the wires. The store keeps none of it. The store just pays. Visa and MasterCard publish those tables. Hundreds of rows. Different rates for different cards. Read one and it looks like a phone book written by an accountant. Every card you own is secretly sorted into one of those rows. The store just accepts whatever card you pull out. It has no idea which row you belong to until you tap, and pays whatever rate that card triggers. Now, that doesn't sound like much. A couple of pennies on $1. Who could possibly notice a couple of pennies? But it lands on almost every transaction in the country. Hundreds of millions of swipes, every single day, added up across a year. American merchants paid roughly 172 billion pounds in card fees in a single year. That's not a typo. Billion. In 1 year. For the privilege of you saying approved, to picture that pile, it's more than the entire yearly tax take of most countries on Earth. Except this pile doesn't build anything. Spread it across every family in the country, and it's hundreds of dollars each. Except it doesn't spread evenly. It pools. A couple of pennies, multiplied by an entire economy, is a fortune. And that fortune has to come from somewhere. Now you might be thinking, fine, the store eats it. That's the store's problem, not mine. But here's the thing. Stores don't eat costs. Stores price costs in. A grocery margin is thin, often just 1% to 3% plus on the whole business. The swipe fee alone can be bigger than the profit on the item. Think about that. The bank can make more on your bread than the grocer who baked it. The grocer took the flour, the oven, the labor, the risk. The bank took a quarter of a second. One did the work, the other did the math. So the store does the only thing it can. It raises the shelf price. On everything. For everyone. The fee doesn't come out of the store. It comes out of the price. Which means it comes out of you. Beat. The store never pays. The price does. So the bread costs a few cents more than it should. For every customer. Identically. The millionaire pays the extra cents. The minimum wage worker pays the exact same extra cents. The teenager buying gum pays them. The pensioner counting coins pays them. Nobody is exempt. Because the fee is baked into the sticker, not added at the till. Does that structure sound familiar? A charge that hits every price the same, regardless of income? That's not a fee anymore. That's a tax. A flat tax. Privately collected. And a flat tax is already a little unfair. It takes a bigger bite of a small budget than a big one. But a flat tax at least treats everyone the same on the way out. This one doesn't. Because now we get to the part they really don't advertise. The rebate. Keep that word in your head. Rebate. Because whether or not you get one is the whole game. Let's make it sharper. Imagine you pay in cash. Crisp bills. No card at all. You'd think you dodged the swipe fee entirely. You didn't. The fee is already inside the shelf price, remember? The store sets one price for the whole line. One price. Built to survive the average swipe cost. So the cash customer pays the card fee too. They just never had a card that could pay them back. The cash payer funds a rewards program they will never, ever join. They pay full freight for a discount that gets mailed to somebody else. They buy the ticket and are barred from the raffle. Here's how the money flows back out. The bank charges the store that swipe fee. Then the bank hands a chunk of it to the cardholder as rewards. cashback, airline miles, hotel points, lounge access. That 2% cashback card you love? It's not the bank being generous. It's the bank refunding you a piece of a tax the store already paid, a tax the store already passed on to everyone in line behind you. The bank keeps a cut and returns the rest to you with a smile. It feels like a gift because you never see where it was taken from. The store paid it. The next customer repaid the store, and the reward lands in your pocket looking like luck. Your rewards are real. They're just paid for by the person who couldn't get rewards. Beat. Your cashback is someone else's grocery bill. So the only question that matters is this: who gets to hold the card that pays you back? Not everyone. That's the trick. Premium rewards cards require good credit, high scores, clean history, steady income the bank can verify. The poorest quarter of households almost never qualify. Roughly 26 million American adults are credit invisible. No score at all. Nothing for a bank to say yes to. Millions more are stuck with basic cards, or no card, or cash. Not because they spend less. Because a score they can't control decides which line they stand in. They pay the tax with every purchase. They are structurally locked out of the refund. Hold that split in your head, because in a minute, the Fed itself puts a dollar figure on it. Picture two lines at the same supermarket. Same bread, same price, same fee inside it. Line A, prime credit, platinum cards, points stacking up. Line B, thin files, cash, prepaid, debit if lucky. Both lines pay the tax. Only line A gets the rebate check. The store can't tell the lines apart. It just raises prices for both. So line B is quietly, permanently, topping up line A's rewards balance. Every loaf, every fill-up, every month. The gap never closes. It compounds, one receipt at a time. And nobody in either line has any idea it's happening. The two people might even be neighbors, friends, family. The pipe between them doesn't care. Remember this picture. The Fed is about to tell you exactly how much moves between these two lines. So let's name what this actually is. It is not a payment system with a loyalty perk. It is a transfer, a steady stream of money, flowing from households that can't get premium cards to households that can. The bread is the pipe. The swipe is the pump. The rewards program is where the money comes out, but only at one end. Interchange is secretly a regressive tax. It takes from the bottom and pays the top, and it does it one grocery run at a time. Beat. The bread is the pipe. The swipe is the pump. So here's the number I promised you. How much money actually moves from the poor to the rich this way? Economists have measured it. Federal Reserve economists, not activists. And the figure they landed on is uncomfortable. On average, low-income cash and debit households hand money to high-income rewards households. The net transfer works out to about $133 per year, flowing the wrong way from the people who have the least to the people who have the most. Not through a law, not through a vote, through a card reader. Every year, quietly, automatically. This isn't a guess. It's arithmetic. The Boston Fed ran the whole economy through the math. They found the lowest income households come out net losers. Those earning under Yakees 20,000 slab or pounds a year. And the highest income households come out net winners. Those over 150,000 plus a year. Every income bracket in between sits on a sliding scale, losing less as it climbs, until the top bracket flips from paying to collecting. The poor family pays in. The rich family gets paid out. The study's own words. A transfer from low-income to high-income households. That's the Federal Reserve saying that, not a headline. A ledger. Here's why this is such a clean example of regressive design. A regressive tax takes a bigger share from people who earn less. This one does exactly that, twice over. Once because a flat fee is a bigger slice of a small budget. And again, because only the rich get the rebate that cancels the fee out. Poor households pay the tax at full price. Rich households pay the tax and then get most of it refunded. The gap between those two experiences is the whole scam. One side pays sticker, the other side pays sticker and gets a rebate check. Same tax, opposite endings. It's not a bug in the system. It is the system working exactly as built. Priced fact. The more expensive your card's rewards, the more the store pays to accept it. A basic card might cost the merchant around 1.5% plus worsening. A premium travel card can cost RU 2.5% or more. Ours. So the fanciest cards are the most expensive for stores to take. And the fanciest cards are held by the richest people. Which pushes prices up the most. The people least able to get those cards subsidize the people flying business class on the points. Here's the cruel geometry of it. A high earner saves and invests a big share of their income. Savings and investments don't get swiped. A low earner spends almost everything on necessities. At the till, necessities get swiped constantly, so the interchange tax touches a bigger fraction of a poor person's whole income. Not because they buy more, because they can't afford to route money anywhere the swipe fee can't reach. The rich have entire lanes the tax never touches. Brokerage accounts, mortgages, retirement funds. The poor have one lane, and the fee is standing in it. A stock trade pays no interchange. A carton of eggs does. Rent does. Diapers do. The bus pass does. The more of your life runs through a card reader, the more of it the tax can reach. And when you're poor, all of it does. Beat. The tax finds you fastest when you're living paycheck to paycheck. By now, you might be looking for the exit. Fine, I'll just pay cash and skip the whole thing. You already know that doesn't work. The fee's in the price whether you swipe or not. Okay, I'll shop where they give a cash discount. Almost nobody does. Because for decades, the card networks made it hard. Their contracts leaned on stores to hide the cost, not reveal it. Their rules discouraged stores from charging card users more. So, the store bundles the cost into one price for all. You cannot personally escape a tax that's welded into the sticker. There is no line. There is no opt-out. There is only the price. Now here's the rule underneath the rule. For years, network contracts effectively banned stores from surcharging cards. A store that wanted to say cards cost 2% more often couldn't, or wouldn't risk it. And there's a second, quieter rule most people never hear about. The honor all cards rule. If a store takes Visa, it has to take every Visa. The cheap debit card and the platinum rewards card. Both. No refusing. So a store can't wave through the low-fee cards and turn away the expensive ones. It has to accept the priciest card in the deck and price the whole store as if everyone carried it. So the customer with the cheapest card pays as if they carried the dearest. The averaging is the trap. Everyone gets billed for the richest person's plastic. Beat. A tax you can see gets repealed. This one you can't see. So far, this has been about your bread. Let's zoom out to the whole shelf. Interchange doesn't just sit on groceries. It rides on gasoline, on pharmacy visits, on utility payments, on rent, wherever landlords take cards, on the bus fare, the school lunch, the phone bill. It's not one tax on one product. It's a thin film of tax coding the entire consumer economy, and the poorest households spend nearly all their income on exactly these basics. So the film is thickest, proportionally, right where it hurts most. The richer you are, the more of your money escapes the film entirely. Look at your receipt tonight. Subtotal. Tax. Total. The word tax is right there, but it's the government's tax, the visible one. The other tax, the interchange one, isn't printed anywhere. It's already melted into every subtotal line above it. You can audit the honest tax to the penny. The dishonest one leaves no trail. Your receipt tells you about the small, honest tax and stays perfectly silent about the big, hidden one. The most expensive tax on the page is the one that isn't on the page. Beat. The most expensive tax on the page isn't on the page. Now hold on to that family in line B. They're still standing there, paying the tax with no card to pay them back. Because here's where all their pennies actually go. Follow the river to the sea. Somewhere, every one of these fees pools. The card networks. The big issuing banks. Payment processing is one of the most profitable businesses on the planet. Fat margins. Enormous scale. Almost no cost to run a single swipe. Two companies stand at the center of nearly every tap in the country. They built no factory. They ship no product. They just own the road. The rewards you get are crumbs handed back to keep you swiping. The rest stays upstream. For them, a swipe costs almost nothing to process and earns a cut of every price in the country. So it isn't only poor to rich between households. It's also everyone to a handful of companies at the top of the pipe. And the family in line B pays both taxes at once. The one that feeds line A and the one that feeds the tower. Beat. Everyone pays up. A few collect down. Now here's the question that breaks the whole thing open. If this tax is so lopsided, why does it exist at all? Because here's a fact almost no American knows. The rest of the rich world already capped it. In 2015, the European Union hit the emergency brake. It capped credit card interchange at 3% plus, debit at 2% plum. That's not a tweak. That's the American fee cut by roughly 6. Australia did it years earlier, back in the early 2000s. Both looked at the same swipe fee you pay and decided it was too high to be legal. The sky didn't fall. Cards still work. Banks still function. Europeans still tap and go and hear approved. A shopper in Berlin taps the same phone you do, and the store keeps more of the sale. So the American swipe fee isn't a law of nature. It isn't the cost of running a card, it's a choice the United States keeps making. And the cap proves the whole argument. When Europe forced the fee down, prices had room to fall. the hidden cost inside the sticker shrank. And notice what the banks did in response over there. They pulled back the lavish rewards. Fewer points, thinner perks, smaller sign-up bonuses. Because the rewards were never magic. They were always just the swipe fee, handed back to the few. Cut the fee, and the rewards deflate with it. The two numbers rise and fall together because they were always the same number, which tells you exactly what those rewards always were. Not a gift from the bank, a cut of a tax everyone else was forced to pay. Beat, kill the fee, and the free rewards vanish. So why didn't America do the same? It tried. Once, halfway. The Durbin Amendment forced down interchange on debit cards in Marston, 2011. It saved merchants billions. But look at what it left standing. Credit cards were barely touched. And credit is exactly where the rewards machine lives. So regulators capped the small fee. The regressive engine, premium credit, kept running at full power. They trimmed the branch and left the root. Almost like the most powerful part was defended on purpose. And here's the twist most people miss. Since then, the rewards haven't shrunk. They've grown. Banks keep dangling richer points to win the wealthy customer. Bigger sign-up bonuses, fancier tiers, more lounges. A single premium card can cost hundreds of dollars a year in fees. And the wealthy pay it gladly because the perks pay them back more. Every bank wants the high spender, so every bank sweetens the offer. And each sweetener has to be funded by a slightly higher swipe fee. But richer rewards mean higher swipe fees, and higher swipe fees mean higher prices for everyone, including the family that will never see a point. The lounge, the miles, the sign-up bonus, every one of them has to be paid for before it's given away. And it's paid at the register by the line that will never board the flight. So the arms race for rich customers is funded in part by the poor. The nicer the perks at the top, the heavier the tax at the bottom. Beat. The fancier the lounge, the pricier the bread. So why does a system this lopsided survive? Because the winners are loud and the losers are silent. The winners know exactly what their points are worth. They'll defend that 2% to the death. The losers don't even know the tax exists. You can't protest a fee with no name, no line, and no receipt. Europe could act because someone finally named it. Here, it stays hidden, so it stays safe. A visible tax gets voted down. An invisible one gets defended by the very people it feeds. The silence of the losers is the system's best security. Now, is the person with the rewards card the villain? No. Genuinely no. If someone hands you a card that pays 2% back, you take it. You'd be a fool not to. The cardholder is playing the game correctly. So is the store, raising prices to survive. So is the bank, selling a product people love. Every single player is acting rationally, and that's the horror of it. Nobody chose the outcome. The structure did. From the inside, that rewards card feels like winning. Free flights, a statement credit, points for a hotel. But you didn't beat the system. You were handed the winning half of a rigged coin. The losing half went to a stranger in the checkout line. Someone who'll never know their name is on the tab. Beat. The prize for having money is a check from people who don't. Let's do something the rewards ads never do. Let's run the clock forward. That 103 fees. A year isn't a one-time hit. It's a subscription you never signed up for. 10 years of it is over. 11,000 fines. For a low-income family, that's a used car. It's an emergency fund. It's months of rent. It's a deposit on an apartment. It's a semester of community college. It's the difference between weathering a broken-down engine and losing the job it drove you to. Money that didn't vanish. It got quietly carried, loaf by loaf, into someone else's points balance. A decade of small, invisible cuts adds up to one very visible wound. Let's run the experiment the other way. Imagine American interchange dropped to the European level tomorrow. Prices could fall because the hidden cost inside them would shrink. The cash payer would win. Their bread gets cheaper. The rewards junkie would lose their points. But those points were never free money. They were a refund on an overcharge everyone was forced to pay. Kill the overcharge, and you don't destroy wealth. You just stop moving it from the bottom to the top. Nobody loses a dollar they earned. Somebody stops collecting a dollar they didn't. We already know it works. Half the developed world is living proof. So let's do the turn. It looked like a convenience. Tap, beep, approved, free. It looked like a loyalty perk. Points for being a good customer. But it was never a perk, and it was never free. It was a regressive tax with a rewards program bolted on the front to hide it. A tax you can't see, can't opt out of, and can't vote down. Interchange isn't the price of using a card. It's the price of not being rich enough to get one. Go back to the two families in the same loaf of bread. Now you can see the pipe running between them. The family with the thin credit file pays the tax and walks out poorer. The family with the platinum card pays the tax collects the rebate, and walks out ahead. The store didn't choose it. The cashier doesn't know it. The receipt won't print it. But every day, the bread quietly carries money uphill, from the people who have the least to the people who have the most. Remember the tax I promised you at the start? The one inside your bread, your gas, your rent? The one moving 1133 a year the wrong way? Now you know its name. Interchange. You know how it hides. In the sticker price. You know who pays it. Everyone. And you know who gets it back. Only the ones who were already fine. You even know it can be stopped, because half the world already stopped it. So tomorrow, when the reader beeps and says, approved, listen closer. It isn't saying your payment went through. It's saying the toll got collected. And it's saying which line you were standing in. A flat tax pretends everyone is equal at the register. This one collects from all of us. And quietly, every single day, it refunds only the people who never needed the money back.